Hello and welcome to this lesson, creating open-close crossover moving average strategy in Pine script. This lesson consists of following sections. In the first section, I will introduce you to the open-close crossover moving average strategy. In the next section, I will explain the trading signals that we are going to generate in this trading strategy. In the next section, I will explain and we're going to build from scratch trading strategy that consists of following components: input parameters, custom functions, indicators calculations, and strategy trading logic. And in the last section of this lesson, I'm going to explain strategy parameters, and we're going to overview parameters of this trading strategy. So let's begin. This strategy uses three moving average indicators. First one identifies long-term trend of the market, and two others are built on the open and close series of the market. The strategy generates long signal when long-term trend is up, and the moving average of close series crosses above the moving average of the open series. That indicates that momentum of the market is up, and it generates the short signal when opposite event happens, when moving average of close series crosses below the moving average of the open series of the market. That indicates the momentum of the market is down. Now let's start developing from scratch the strategy section by section, and I will explain purpose and logic of each section. So let's begin. So we're going to Pine script editor, then we are going to create the new strategy, and then we are going to write the strategy section by section. So first of all, let's create the name of this strategy. The strategy is called Open Close Crossover MA strategy. Open Close Crossover MA strategy. So next, let's set the parameters of this strategy. Overlay will be set to true because the plotted indicators are moving averages that we're going to plot on the main chart. Next parameters of the trading strategy is default quantity type. Default quantity type will be percent of equity, and the default quantity value will be 100, meaning that in each trade we are going to use 100% of our virtual strategy balance. Default quantity value equal 100%. Next, let's account commissions in our strategy. Let's make sure on each trade we are going to deduct certain commission, which is going to be 0.1%, because we want backtesting of our strategy to generate realistic values, realistic characteristics. So to do that, commission type will be equal to commission percent. Strategy commission strategy commission percent, and the commission value, let's set it to 0.1%. Now, in the next section is input parameters section, where we're going to set up all the parameters for this strategy. So first parameter is trade type. Trade type is the parameter that is configuring the strategy trading types, which type of trades the strategy is going to trade. Long and short, only long or only short. So this parameter is the parameter type of string, and it's gonna have three options: long and short, long and short. So first let's set the title. Title is gonna be trade type. So the default is going to be long. So we're going to apply this strategy to the Bitcoin chart, which is mostly trending up. Therefore, default parameter for this trade type parameter will be long. Next, let's set the options for these trade type parameters. So options will be long and short, long and short, long and short. Okay, so we have set this trade type parameter. Next, because we're gonna have the moving averages in this strategy, let's set parameters for this moving average. For the moving average that is going to be calculated based on open and close of the market, of the bars of the current market, we're gonna have the same parameters shared. First parameter is going to be moving average type. Which is going to hold the moving average type. And those types could be several types of moving averages that we can select. Let's have a linear regression, EMA and SMA type of moving averages that we are going to support for this MA type parameter. So it's gonna be the same input string parameter, and what we could do is we could just copy this and quickly change the values that we need to change. So the title of this MA type will be MA type, and the default value will be, let's have it EMA, and the options for MA type will be EMA, SMA for simple moving average, and linear regression, for linear regression moving average. So now next is let's set up parameter for moving average period. So MA period is gonna be integer input parameter, and for that integer input parameter, title will be MA period, and default value for the MA period, let's have it 50, and the step will be equal to 1. So we have set moving average type and moving average period for the series, for the moving average that is gonna be built on the series of open and close prices for the selected market. Now, because we're gonna have a long-term moving average in our strategy, let's set the parameters related to that additional indicator. Those parameters are going to be very similar to the ones that we have already set. Therefore, let's copy them and change them correspondingly. So it's going to be trend type, which is going to hold the type of moving average of the long term trend. Let's correct the title, trend period, and so it's gonna be trend MA type, and default, let's have it as a linear regression moving average. For the trend type, and for trend period, let's correct the title, trend period, and the default value, because it's a long-term moving average, let's have it 140, and the step, whenever we need to change the parameter from the parameter configuration of the strategy, let's have it step as a 10. Now we completed the section of input parameters. Next section will be custom functions. Custom functions, where we are going to develop all the functions that we are going to use in this strategy. In this strategy, we're going to use only one custom functions, that is going to be get MA source to return certain moving average depending on the selection, or depending on the selected type of moving average. So get MA source. So the function is going to have three parameters. First parameter is a source. Second parameter is MA type. And the third parameter is period that MA is going to use. So source, MA type, and period. Next, we specify the arrow, because it's gonna be the custom function, and in that custom function we're gonna have a switch, and the switch is going to have the expression as a MA type, that is the source parameter, that is the parameter of this custom function, and depending on the MA type, we are going to return calculated series of that MA type. For example, for the EMA MA type, we are going to return the calculated EMA series. So we're going to use a ta.ema function, and we're going to pass the source parameter, and we're going to pass the period parameter into that function. For the SMA type, we're going to use the ta.sma function with the same parameters. And for the default case, because in our trading strategy we are using only 3 options for moving average type: EMA, SMA, and linear regression. Therefore, for the default value, we're gonna use the linear regression. So if neither selected EMA or SMA, linear regression option will be returned from this switch. To calculate linear regression, we use ta.linreg function that is going to use source parameter, period parameter, and offset. Let's have it 0. So this is how we set up our custom functions, and we completed the developing getMA source custom function. In the next section, we are going to develop indicator calculations. Indicator calculations section. So here, first of all, let's calculate close series and open series that we are going to use in our trading logic. So closes series is going to be calculated using our getMA source custom function. So, and we are going to pass close of the selected market and MA type and MA period strategy parameters. MA type and MA period. So this is how we calculated close series from the strategy parameters. And similarly, we are going to calculate opens series. But instead of close, we're gonna pass open price of the currently selected market. Next, we're going to calculate the trend moving average. So trend will be equal, and it's going to use the same custom function. And for the trend, we are going to pass close series. But for the other parameters, we are going to pass corresponding parameters related to the trend moving average. So it's going to be trend type and trend period. Trend period. So Next, let's calculate the certain variables that we are going to use in our trending logic. First of all, we need to know when trend is up or trend is down. Let's initialize such variables. So trend up is going to be true whenever trend is bigger than trend series from the previous bar, and trend is down whenever current trend value of the current bar is less than the trend from the previous bar. So now we can plot, because we calculated all the series that we need. Now we can plot all of them on our chart. So to do that, we use plot function, and in plot function, so let's plot closest series, and the title will be closest, and the color will be, let's set it blue, color blue, and line width, let's set it to 2, and let's set the style is going to be a line, because it's a moving, it's like moving average. So plot, and we're gonna use the line, style line. So we plotted the closest line, closest series on the chart. So now let's plot the opens. And for opens, let's have different color. Let's use the maroon color. Everything else, all other parameters for the plot function are the same for opens series. Next, let's plot the trend moving average. Trend, let's give it corresponding title, trend MA, and the color of this moving average, let's set it depending on where the trend is up or down. So to do that, we're gonna use the parameters that we have already set. We're gonna use the variables that we have already assigned, trend up. So when trend is up, we're gonna use color, we're gonna use green color. Otherwise, red color. We're gonna have different colors depending whenever trend up or down to visually identify the trend of the current market. So in the next section, we are going to develop the trading logic of this strategy. So the trading logic is gonna use the following variables. So first of all, we need to evaluate the conditions for the long, short, exit long, and exit short cases. So let's set these variables. So first variable is a long condition. So long condition in this strategy, whenever closes series crosses over or crosses above the opens series, we're going to use TA dot crossover function, and first parameter we're going to use closes, second parameter we're going to use opens. This function is going to return true whenever closes series crosses above opens series. And also we need to evaluate the trend. For the long condition, we need to make sure whenever trend is up and closes series crosses above open series, only in this case, long condition, we want to be true. Opposite logic for the short condition. So short condition, except that it's gonna be cross under when closes crosses under the opens series and trend is down. So now let's calculate the exit conditions. So we're gonna need the exit long condition and exit long condition whenever closes series crosses below the open series. And exit short variable will be set to true whenever closes crosses above opens series. So this way we have set the technical conditions of the trading logic in our strategy. Now we know when strategy is going to open long short position or exit long or exit short positions. Now let's set the 4 variables that we are going to signal to our entries or close position functions that are going to use the conditions that condition variables that we have already just set. So is long, and let's initialize it to false. Next is short, and 2 other is exit long and is exit short. We're going to use these variables in the trading logic below. Next, let's set these parameters depending on the on the technical conditions and depending on the current position of the strategy. To do that, we're going to use switch function. Switch function, and in the switch function, depending on the current position of the strategy and depending on the technical condition of the strategy, we are going to set all of these variables: is long, is short, is exit long, and is exit short. So first, let's set is long variable, and it's gonna be set whenever current position is not long. So this is gonna be a first condition. So strategy, and we're gonna need to evaluate the strategy position. Position size less or equal 0, meaning current position is not long, because when position size is 0, meaning no position is flat. When position size is negative, meaning that short position, right? Therefore, when strategy.position size is less or equal 0, meaning strategy position is not long, and only when it's not long we can set is long variable to true, indicating to our strategy that we are going to establish long position. So when the position is not long, and long condition, and in this case is long variable will be set to true. We are going to reassign value to is long variable, therefore we need to use colon and equal sign, meaning this is a reassign operator. Similar but opposite logic related to whenever we need to set is short variable. So it's gonna be whenever position is not short, meaning position size is more or equal 0, and short condition, value for that variable is true, then is short variable will be set to true. Next, let's calculate the when is exit long will be set to true. So is exit long will be set to true, obviously whenever we have a long position, meaning that whenever position size is bigger than 0, and is exit long condition is true. In that case, we're gonna set is exit long variable to true. And final variable, let's set for the is exit short variable. So is exit short variable will be set to true whenever we have obviously short position, so short position we are going to have whenever position size is less than 0 and is exit short condition is true. So now we have created a logic to set all the variables related to actual trading signal in our trading strategy that we're gonna use in our trading logic below to actual entries and exits of our trading strategy. So next, let's create the logic for exiting the positions. So to exit the position, we need to first check if strategy position size is bigger than 0, meaning if position is currently long. So when position is currently long, and we have is exit long variable set, or we could have another signal. We could have is short variable set. Is short variable set, and short trades are not allowed. Short trades are not allowed whenever we have trade type long. So this logic is as follows. Whenever we have a long position, and whether we have is exit long, all we have is short signal. But whenever we have is short signal, and shorts are not allowed. So basically, when shorts are not allowed and we have short signal, we are going to exit long position as well. So now let's continue. So we covered the long exits. Now we need to cover the short exits. So they're gonna have similar logic, but opposite. So or strategy position size is less than 0, meaning it is short, and we have is exit short variable set. Is exit short variable set, or whenever we have is long, but longs are not allowed. Longs are not allowed whenever we have trade type short. So these are all exits from the cases when we have long position or short position. So in that case, we're gonna close all positions that we have. So we're gonna call strategy and simply close all. Next, let's set up our entries. Let's set up the long entry first. So if we have is long variable set to true, and we need to account the current trade type as well, because for example, if long positions are not allowed, then we cannot establish long position, right? It's gonna depend on the current trade type that we have. So whenever we have is long variable set to true and trade type not short, meaning longs are allowed, and in that case we can enter the long position. We use strategy.entry function and signal the ID of this position will be long, and the direction will be long. So this way we have set the long entry. Now let's set the short entry. Short entry whenever is short variable is true and short trades are allowed. Short trades are allowed when trade type is not long. In that case, we can establish short position. So we completed developing the open close crossover trading strategy from scratch. Now let's save it. So open close crossover MA strategy. So let's save it. So let's add it. Let's add it to the chart. As you see, with default parameters on Bitcoin chart, we have 40,869% profit. And let's review the parameters of this strategy and let's verify how it trades on the chart. So this strategy has basically this strategy parameters has basically three sections. First section is trade type, whenever we can select type of the trades that are allowed in our strategy. Default value for this parameter is long, but we can change it if we need to. Next two parameters related to the closes and open series of the selected market. For those series we create moving averages based on MA type and based on MA period parameters. But we can change MA type to another type of moving average, for example, SMA. And we can change the period of the moving average that is used to calculate moving average on close and open series. In the next section, we have parameters related to long-term trend of the selected market. We have trend and moving average type. Currently selected value is linear regression, but we can change it if we need to. And the next parameter is the trend period of the long-term trend moving average. And we can change this parameter as well. All these parameters we can adjust to the currently selected market to optimize performance of our trading strategy. Now let's take a look how this strategy performs depending on the plotted moving averages. So the long-term moving average has a red color whenever trend is down and green color whenever trend is up. We are allowed to establish long positions whenever trend is up, and whenever trend is down, we are allowed to take only short trades. So another condition is that whenever we have the closes moving average crosses above open moving average. So close moving average is blue, open moving average has maroon color, right? So at this location in the chart, we can see that blue line crosses above the maroon line, right? And whenever it crossed and we have green trend moving average, meaning that trend is up and blue line crosses above the maroon line, then we establish long position. And we close the long position when opposite event happens, whenever the blue line crosses below the red line. Here is another case. The trend line is green, we can establish longs, and the blue line crosses above the maroon line, we established long. But here, as you see, the blue line crosses below the maroon line. Therefore, we exit long position. As you see, close position order event happens here. So now, summarizing this lesson, we built from scratch trading strategy based on 3 moving average indicators. One moving average is identifying long-term trend, and 2 others built on open and close series of the market. I explained the logic of each section of the strategy and the parameters of the strategy. The strategy provides ability to adjust its indicator parameters, set different type of moving averages that allows to adapt the strategy to different markets. This is the end of this lesson, and I will see you in the next one.